Hello, 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 hello out there. Welcome back to my channel. What's up, you guys? I've missed you guys so much. You guys know I always miss y'all. If you're new, hi, welcome. My name is Monk, and I'm very, 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 very happy that you're here. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do that now. And while you're there, make sure you turn on your notification so you will know when I upload a video. So, again, like I stated, I'm happy that you guys are here. I'm happy that you guys decided to join me on this video or whatever. So today, we're not going to be doing a tutorial. We're actually, gonna be doing a whole different video, a video like I've never done before on my channel. But I felt that it was my responsibility, being that I do have a platform. It may not be a huge platform or, a well-known platform, but it's a platform that people actually come, they listen to me for however long I talk or whatever, and and they tune in, and because of that, I feel compelled to come and do the video that I'm about to get ready to do. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. Okay, so to get into the purpose of this video and the reasoning for this video is that, like I mentioned before, I've never done anything like this on my channel because nothing has really prompted me or compelled me to as much as this story about Kate Spade have. Now, if you haven't been living under a rock, you know exactly who I'm talking about when I speak of Kate Spade and the surrounding circumstances of the reason why I speak on her. I've really had a heavy heart with reading her story and reading, her early, career path and movement, that kind of brought her to where she's at now. And it just kind of put things in perspective for me, for one, but it also kind of just put a sadness over me because it's so relatable, and the reason it's so relatable is because even though I myself, I'm not as successful as Kate, or I'm not even on the bracket that Kate is in, I too struggle with depression and thoughts of, suicide. And as hard as it was for me to say that out loud, it used to be harder for me to say it way back, as I journey through life and as I try to make sense of, why I feel the way that I feel or come to the places that I come to in my life with feeling the way that I feel, it really struck me that I've been feeling this way for a long time. And not only have I been feeling this way for a long time, I've been going without help for a long time. And I can only imagine, being in that environment that she's in, if she had a cry for help, or if she, disclosed anything, to her closest friends or her family or anything like that, we don't know, us as the people of America, only those who are with her are there to know. But like I said, I just felt compelled to come and to share with you guys because, like I said, this platform of mine is my platform, and whoever tunes in and listen, if it's one person, you know what I mean? Hey, I've done my job, and that's what it's all about. You have to make sure that we are leaving the world better than we found the world. That's what it's all about ultimately. And I feel like sharing my experience and sharing, just a little bit of the things that I've come through and the things that I've overcome can probably help, somebody else out there somewhere. So, like I said, I've been basically dealing with depression, not knowing that I was depressed, and things like that for a very long time. And as I really sat back and analyzed it, my behavior, my thoughts, my actions, and things like that, it kind of spanned over for about 10 years, and it wasn't until recently when it was in the early part of this year, I want to say January, I had literally like hit rock bottom. Like, when I say rock bottom, like I was in my bathroom on the floor bawling because I couldn't take it anymore. Like, I just did not know what to do. You know what I mean? Like, I was just in a place like, what is really happening? Is this really it? Is this really my life? Like, is this all that has been written for me? Like, what am I going to do? I don't know what to do. And I remember I sat on that floor. It had to be for about 2 hours. And I just cried, and I remember crying, and I cried, and I cried, and I cried. And it was at that moment when I realized, you got to get some help. you cannot always have the answer to everything. You cannot always know how to figure out everything. That is not your job. That is not what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like, and this is me telling myself this as I'm gathering myself up off the bathroom floor to get myself together. Because mind you, I have 3 kids that are in this house, and they're probably like, "What's going on with mama?" You know what I mean? So I had to gather myself, save face in just that instance when I came back to realize that you cannot go on like this. Okay, this is not a healthy life. Not so much for you, but for your kids and for people who love you and who are surrounded by you. Like, this is not a healthy life for you or a healthy environment for you. So I remember I called my friend girl and I told her, listen, I don't know if I can do this. And I remember before I called her, I felt a sense of shame because I was like, wow, I'm getting ready to admit that I need help. I'm getting ready to admit that I ain't got it all together to somebody else. Like, admitting it to yourself, you can probably deal with it a little bit better. But when you actually utter those words out to somebody and you're prepping yourself and you're putting up this guard instantly because you're like, you don't want to be in a place of being judged. Like, nobody wants to be judged. Like, that's just the worst place to ever be in, is when you're in a position to be judged, because it automatically makes you defensive. It automatically makes you want to, defend your position or defend your reasoning for doing what you're doing or saying what you're saying. And I remember that I was like, man, I'm about to do this. I'm about to verbally tell somebody that, hey, I need help. Who do you know that can help me? Because I cannot go on like this another day. And I thank her so much. Like, she has to be one of my least judgmental friends. Like, it's no judgment with her because she honestly gets it. Like, she honestly understands, what it is to be in this situation where you just feel like you're falling completely apart. And with that being said, she gave me the information I needed, and she was like, contact this person, they'll help you. I've worked with them before. They're gonna get you the help that you need. And I remember being like scared. Like, again, I'm back at this cycle, and it's the thing about when it comes to getting help, you just don't go get help. That's not how it works. It's literally a cycle of, what the crap am I doing? I'm a strong black person. Like, I don't need no help. Like, you literally get to a point where you're trying to talk yourself out of it. You're trying to be like, nah, that was just a false alarm. I ain't really that messed up as I think I am. But you are. You know what I'm saying? If you feel some part of your life that you are messed up, like you are messed up, you messed up. So I remember, like, when she gave me the number for the therapist, I didn't call right away. I did not call right away. It maybe was about 3 weeks later. And I remember her asking me, she said, so have you reached out to my contact? And I was like, well, no, not yet. And and I'm like, well, maybe I don't need to, I'm having a good day, like I'm good, the kids are good, dinner's cooked, house clean, everything's good. And then she was like, well, Candace, yeah, you're having a good day today, but it doesn't take away of those feelings and those emotions and those thoughts that are there and issues that you haven't dealt with that are still there. Okay, you're right. It doesn't. Let me go ahead and reach out. Reached out to the contact. When I met with the contact, which was a therapist, by the way. Man, that therapy session was the most liberating thing I have ever done. Like, when I tell you, it was the most liberating thing. It was the most, like, all the faces come down, all the masks, all the walls, all the guard, the defense mechanism, like, all of that just fell down instantly. Sitting across, having this dialogue. And what I love the most about the therapy section is that I did all of the talking. And it was like I was getting every single thing out, from way back to now. It was like everything that, we keep bottled up, or things that we subconsciously just like put in our mind and we don't think that they bother us, but in turn they really do bother us. But we just go on through life because that's what you do. That's what you're taught to do. You're taught to put it up, suck it up, and go on, because guess what? Life goes on and life doesn't wait for anybody. But meanwhile, while you're still going, you still have this situation that you're dealing with way back here. So it's like your body's up here, but your mind back here, and you're trying to make a connect, and you can't. And that's why you kind of going a little bit crazy, because you really like, wait, what's going on? I'm not in sync. Things are not lining up as they should be. And so with that therapy session, I was talking and talking, and that's when I came to the conclusion, or us, the therapists together, came to the conclusion that there's some things that I haven't dealt with. I literally hadn't dealt with. Like, I literally I pushed it back, and I was just like, you know what, life goes on. I don't have time to do this. I have a job to go to. I have children to take care of and raise. I have stuff that I have to do. And as to there were a lot of factors that contribute to my depression over those years, and to my thoughts of suicide, because it got to be that bad that I wanted to commit suicide. I mean, I said it here on the World Wide Web, so everybody, and it wasn't one time. It was like, if I have to be honest with myself, it was like more than one occasion. I just wanted to end it because I felt like I just couldn't go on. You know what I mean? I just really could not go on. I remember one time in my life, had just come out of a failed relationship. Mind you, a failed marriage was already on the backside of my list. I was raising 3 kids on my own, working a career, trying to maintain family and friend relationship, just trying to do a whole lot. And on the inside, I was just so unhappy. I was just disgusted and busted with myself. Like, I was just like, yeah, this cannot be the way of life. The way of life. And I remember not having the support that I needed from certain family members. Certain family members that I have gone beyond and be above for, certain family members that I automatically assume that, hey, I did it for you, you're going to do it for me, right? This is a two-way street. It's an equal opportunity for the both of us. But, and I didn't realize that in that moment until I revisited that time in my life, and my therapist was like, so it seems like this was a repeating cycle that you just kept putting yourself into because you had expectations that weren't communicated. What you say? And that's what you said. You said we oftentimes we expect people to do things for us simply because we've done it for them, or we would do it for them. But people don't think like us. People don't process like us. People don't take out the consideration and time, like we do. People like me who think about others before they think about themselves, and I was like, wow. So fast forward. So we're in this therapy session, and I'm realizing that I got some issues, serious issues that I need to deal with in order to maintain a healthy, or not maintain, but to actually have a healthy, prospering, living, life. You know what I mean? And just for the sake of those who just wanted to know, well, Candace, what were your issues? Like, what's the issue that brought you to come to rock bottom? And for those of you who are wanting to know, I was dealing with issues of abandonment. And I'm probably like 33 years old. What kind of abandonment issues could you possibly have? And I had them. I'm still kind of there a little bit, but I'm doing things, and I'm looking at things differently now than I used to. But just really quickly, and this is where it gets hard for me at. I don't have the best relationship with my mother, or with my siblings. I'm the oldest of 5. I don't know my dad's side or my dad at all. there was just some things that took place between my mother and my siblings that made me feel left out, that made me feel like I didn't belong, that made me feel like I wasn't good enough, or, you know, I was just, you know, here, you know, like, you know, sometimes, you know, I felt like I didn't even exist to them, you know what I mean? And I'm talking about some things as no phone calls, no visits, no nothing. Like, if I communicated with them, it was literally me calling them. It was literally me going to their house. Like, it was never a two-way street or whatever. And I had just got to a place where I needed to feel some type of affection from a parent. Like, I always felt like that sense of a motherless child cloud kind of hung above me. But, you know, I was like, "Ah, get out of here, get on, you know, that ain't it, you know, that ain't true." And, you know, even with the fact that I have godparents, you know, I came up with a God family, but I always felt like they weren't obligated to be that person or to show me that as much as my mom was. You know what I mean? And I wasn't getting that. And it, you know, I don't know if you guys ever been to a place where you don't feel no type of love. And it's not the love where you know, where you say, oh, well, you got kids, they show you. It's a different kind. Like the kids, yeah, that is an affection, but it's an affection where somebody's actually genuinely checking up on you, making sure you're okay, making sure that everything is good. You know what I mean? Just making sure you're good ultimately. You know what I mean? And I wasn't getting that. And it took a toll on me, and I didn't realize that bothered me. And the thing about it, as my therapist pointed out, she said, honestly, they haven't been doing anything differently than they weren't doing then. And she said, it's just to the point that you notice it and you recognize it and you put a name to it, and now it's coming to fruition, like it is coming out, it has manifest or whatever. And I was just like, wow. But in the place that I was in my life, it was like, maybe it didn't matter to me as much as then, as much as it matters to me right now. Like right now, I need a mother's love. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, I need somebody to tell me, hey, it's okay if you don't have it all figured out. Hey, it's okay if you don't know the answers to this. Hey, it's okay if that doesn't work out. You still have this. It's okay if you're moving a little, you know, slower along the path than like I just needed somebody to confirm that it's okay if X, Y, and Z is not going the way that you planned it. As long as A, B, and C lines up, everything is okay. Like, I just needed that it's okay. And, you know, you can't pep, like people say, you can pep yourself up, but yeah, you can, but at the same time, you still need the extra push for somebody. I don't care. We're codependent on one another. That's how God designed it. Like, we are codependent. We need one another. If that's the case, if we didn't, wouldn't be all these people in the world. But what we don't need is people that bring us pain, people that bring us heartache, people that bring us, you know, bad times and bad memories. That part we don't need. But ultimately, you need someone to check in on you. Especially when you're the strong person, especially when you're the person that's always doing the checking in. You're the person that's always showing up. Hey, how's it going? Just wanted to stop by. Like, if you're that person who always doing that, you need somebody to reverse the roles for you and let you know that, hey, I got you. I see you. So I said all that to say that getting help is it's a hard thing. I'm not gonna say that it's not, because it is a hard thing, but getting help is the most liberating thing that you can do for yourself if you struggle with any form of depression, suicidal thoughts, bipolar. Like, you know you. Ultimately, you know you, and you know the things that you struggle with. And if you find yourself being one of those people, I am telling you, there is absolutely no shame. I feel like mentally, since I've gotten help, I have not been in a more positive space mentally in all my life. Like, seriously, I know how to place people. I know how to place feeling. I know how to place boundaries, and it has worked for me. It literally has worked for me, and my life, it's more together. It flows a little bit more. You know what I mean? And not to say that I don't have a bad day, because I do have a bad day, but ultimately. And I remember my therapist telling me, and I kept saying, I'm just trying to get my life together. I'm just trying to get my life together. And she said, you have your life together. There's just certain areas in your life that may need to be worked on, but ultimately, your life is together. So stop saying you're trying to get your life together, because it is together. And that was a revelation for me, because I'm always feeling like I'm not doing enough. You know, is this enough? Is that enough, or whatever? Like, I'm always blaming myself, you know, for the way people treat me, or the way that, people handle me. And you have to get to that point where you have to let people know how to treat you and how to handle you. And that's what I've come to. And that's what has, like I said, has liberated me the most, because I'm able to categorize people. I'm able to categorize feelings, emotions, and things like, I'm able to say, oh no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to participate in that. I'm not going to allow you to do that to me. And it has really, really worked. So if you're one of those people who are struggling, or you feel embarrassed, don't. I'm here. I'm flesh and blood. I'm thriving. And guess what? I've seen a therapist. I have a therapist that I go to, and it's okay. It doesn't make me less of a person. It doesn't make me less strong. It doesn't make me less accomplished. It doesn't make me less put together. It just makes me a person who realized they needed help, and they went and got the help that they needed. Okay, there's absolutely no shame in it, because if it gets to a point where it's too bad, or you can't take it, and it ends up not being a great outcome, can you really ever say that you tried your best to get yourself the help that you needed? Of course not. So get the help, seek the help. The help is there for you. And I just feel like it would be such a shame to have the resources before you and to not use them. Things you can do, you can write in your journals. That was one thing that my therapist recommended for me to do, which was something I do anyway. I have like tons of journals that I have written in. Just find things that make you happy, that you can exert that negative energy and make it into something positive. Hang around people who make you feel good about you, not people who remind you of this time in your life, or that bad time in your life, or that bad experience in your life. Trust me, we don't need to be reminded of that. We have a file cabinet that's in the back of our mind that reminds us more so of all of the bad that we've done more than the good that we've done. So we don't need to be around people who remind of us those instances. But just surround your people. And look, and this was something that I had to swallow, and this was something that I had to recognize. If it's a family member that's bringing you down and bringing you this pain and bringing you these isolated thoughts where you're not feeling good about yourself, get rid of them. Family is family. Family is going to always be there, but ultimately, if they're not doing what you need them to do in order to stay in your life, put them over there. They'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? That's just what you have to do in order to make sure that you're good. Okay? That's what you have to do. Sometimes we have to put family members, hey, I love you, but I'm going to put you over here. Hey, I love you, but you can't be in my space like that. You know what I mean? Replace that with friends, people that you've come to trust, who respect your journey, you know what I'm saying, who respect where you are in life and respect where you're trying to go. Now, last but not least, a lot of people like pray. Definitely pray. I believe in God. I believe in God with my whole heart, my whole mind, my whole soul. And people out there, they have their own universal thing that whatever works for you works for you. But I also want to say this. I mean, during all of that I was going through, I was going to church every Sunday, and I'm also a Sunday school teacher. And even in that, being as close to God as I was, I still had issues. I still had things that I had to deal with, I still had things that were happening to me that I had to address, and people's like, well, if you believe in God, there's no such thing as depression. I disagree with that because here I am coming out of a depression coming out of a state of having suicidal thoughts and basically giving you my testimony. So who's to say that, all of this wasn't for me to come and give a testimony to how God has kept me? Because in the midst of it, during those days, those bad, bad days, when I couldn't get myself up, I know exactly, where that strength came from. I'm not fooled and I'm not oblivious to it. But at the same time, I know that I had some responsibility in taking care of me as well. God is going to be there, but he wants you to do the work too. Like, we have to put in the work. And like, with that, I knew I had the responsibility of saying, you need help. Point blank period. You need help. And if you want to live a healthy life for you and your children, you have to address that. Okay? So, I'm going to end it here because I've talked a long time. But before I go, don't be ashamed. You have absolutely nothing to be ashamed about. There's so many people like you and I who struggle with things and who just tired of being the strong person all the time. And it's okay to say, hey, I don't have it together. Hey, I don't know all the answers. Hey, I'm just figuring this thing out one day at a time, just like you are. Okay? And remember, it's a bad day, not a bad life. Okay? So we're entitled to have our bad days, just long as they don't filter into becoming a bad life. So if you have a bad day, don't beat yourself up about it. Address it. Know that's what it was. And hey, we have tomorrow to make it better. Okay? So again, seek the help. That's all I want you to do. That's the most part I want you to stress, is seeking the help. Seek the help that you need. Do not be ashamed. There's nothing to be ashamed of. There's just billions of resources out there that you can do it, whether you want to be confidential about it or if you want to be open about it, whichever one you choose for your healing process, go for it. Just as long as you get the help before it's too late. Okay? So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate you for hanging out with me as long as you did. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Again, as I say always, I love you guys so much, and I really do, and I really mean it when I say that. So again, if nobody has told you, I love you, I love you, I love you, and I will see you on my next video. Bye.